Hi, Shirley here. This is a quick video in relation to Module 1, and although this is very much about getting out of your head, but you know I talk about aligning goals with small steps and aligning conscious with unconscious behaviour. This short video is about how you can start to slowly, don't go too far, start to introduce a little bit of your goals, what you want from this program, into Module 1, even if you have no idea what your big goals are. So what you can do in relation to moving through the exercises, let's start there. So as you're doing the exercises which require you to engage your childish mind, you will come into this program with all kinds of different reasons. Remember, I said this is about a unique journey. This is about your personal journey. So if you can't yet focus on what the goal is, because that's just too far out there. That's, well, like if I knew what my goal was, I wouldn't be here. But you do know where you feel really, really stuck. Even if you don't know why that would be a problem or why that could be the problem, you're pretty clear that you feel very, very, very stuck in one part of your life. So while I'm saying this, I want you to have a little lightness with it, which is a challenge, but stick with me. So when it comes to, let's say, your exercises, you've got your big sheet of paper, you've got your colours and your pens or bits of fabric, your glue, your scissors, whatever you're using, and I'm asking you to think about things you enjoyed, things that excited you, people you admired. It might help a little, and I'm not saying definitely do this, remember, no rules. But if you relate it to the problem you have at the moment, so let me take as an example so that to help you understand this. If you, for example, had an issue around weight, you could think, as you're thinking about all the things you loved doing when you were a child, the things that excited you, that made you laugh, that you loved doing, and your parents had to say, can you stop doing that, or can you come in, or whatever it was. Think perhaps about how that influenced your activity, your levels of activity, how you might apply some of those things in daily life. You might think, well, that's interesting. You know, when I was a kid, I loved jumping on the bed, couldn't get me off it. Could not get me off it. I'd be jumping, or I loved riding my bike. And then you might see that in your daily life now, you actually do very little. Maybe you go, I don't really like exercise, I don't like it. But you could use this process not to make a decision about a plan. We're not going there yet. But to open yourself up to thinking, is there some way I could use this information I'm beginning to gather, stimulating those neural pathways, clearing the undergrowth, to inform me about ways I could think differently now, that I could do something I enjoy for me, something I like, and use that to inform your way forward. And let me give another example. So that's one extreme, is maybe weight loss. For me, my big stuck issue was money. Oh God. There was this contradiction between wanting to achieve, wanting to be successful, and no, but money's a bit of an issue. Money was an issue, not having it, gosh, that caused a huge amount of drama. Remember, I was in debt. But also what I began to learn was having it was a problem. So I had to switch off my conscious mind of going, I have to solve the problem, I have to solve the problem. Why do I have this issue with money? Why is this, you know, why can't I have success? Why? Instead of that, because that increases tension. When you increase tension, you can't think straight. And this process in Module 1 is about letting go of all of that. We're not thinking. We're not making this hard work. This is light work. Interesting there, that use of light work, energy. So I'm simply saying plant the seed. plant the seed. So if you're thinking about success without thinking specifically about money, and this all sounds very contradictory and may well be confusing, I hope not. If it becomes confusing, just switch it off. Just go back to what the process is. But for some of you, this will help. So what I began to do was channel my thoughts into, I'm doing crochet and knitting. Remember, I don't know if you know that part of my story. I started to do things like crochet and knitting because I remembered as a child enjoying that kind of thing. Even though no single part of my entire adult life had any of that in it. In fact, I had resisted it actively, refusing to even sew on buttons. I don't do that. Don't do it. It's not my thing. Not good at it. I purposely constructed a story, we come to stories in later modules, around that particular aspect of my personality. I switched it off, cut it off completely. And so just opening that up, I knew there was no way I was going to craft a new career in sewing or knitting or craft of any description, because actually it's not what I do. It's not what I feel driven to do. It's not anything other than a pleasurable, get my brain in a different space activity. It's meditative. But it did start clearing some of that undergrowth of neural pathways, like where is this going? Of allowing me to think a little more clearly about how, just asking the question, how could this relate to what I need to be doing now? How might this make a difference? So I didn't dive in directly with how's this going to help me with money, because that's still a worry, that's still a concern, that's still a stress that will take you back into the problem of stuckness. It's just gently coming at it from the side, simply asking the question, how could this move me forwards with, if it's weight loss, with that lithe, energetic, flexible, supple person that I want to be? How could this move me forward? You don't have to have the answer, you just have to pose the question. How could this move me forward to a place where I'm comfortable? I've got a job that I'm really loving. I'm chilled about what's in my bank account. I wouldn't even link it to money. I'm chilled. I'm doing stuff I like doing. I'm doing it with people I like doing it with. I'm feeling relaxed and good about it in the way I'm feeling relaxed and good about this childish exercise. So, I mentioned another thing. Before I was just about to close out, you could tell, couldn't you? The meditation. Similarly, if you're meditating, you could just float. Because when we're meditating, we're calming the parasympathetic nervous system. We're taking ourselves into a state where we won't be overwhelmed by emotion and fear and anxiety, because it can't coexist. When we're meditating, we shift into a state where there is calm. And the more you meditate, the quicker that becomes. So if you're a new meditator, that won't necessarily happen. You might be sitting there for 15, 18 minutes transfixed with tension, going, oh no, I'm not switching off, I'm not switching off. But there will come a point, and it might be around minute 19 or minute 25 if you do a really long meditation, where you suddenly go, oh, there's a shift. You suddenly move into a calmer place. When you're in that place, allow the uncomfortable negative emotions or thoughts, allow them in then. You're safe if you do it then. Because what will happen then is you can just, it's a bit like diving in, having a wander around, exploring, not really knowing what you're going to find, not in any risk or danger of it harming you in the way it does right now. So let me just recap. In relation to the meditation, when you reach that point, when you suddenly feel, oh, I feel calmer now. You feel your body just feels calmer. Your thoughts feel easier. At that point, if it feels like something you want to do, you can just kind of gently float in the problem. So for me, that's how I started to be able to directly think about money and my issue with money. Then I was safe. I could think about it. And your brain will take you off in all kinds of different directions in an effortless way. So I hope this short video has helped and not muddied the waters. I wanted to add it in because some of you will want this. And if it doesn't feel right for you, remember, no rules. No, you must do it this way. This is just for some of you who may find this helpful. Okay. Enjoy the rest of the program. Any problems, reach out, send a question via the Facebook page. In fact, I'm glad I reminded myself of that. If you haven't already, go over to the Facebook page. There is a group there. It's a private group for members of this program only, Midlife Reinvention, and there will be the date of when the program started. Currently, it is the 26th of May. So look for that group. That will be your group. Midlife Reinvention, which is a private Facebook group. If you find an open group, because there is an open group too, that is different. You can join that. You'd be very welcome there too, once you've completed the program or while you're in it. But look for the private Facebook group. Log in, or rather join, whatever you do on Facebook, and you'll get authorized to come in. And use that and share what's working for you and what isn't. And find out, who else is in the program with you. All right, thanks a lot. I'll speak to you soon. Take care. I'm just looking for you can tell I'm looking for where do I stop this bit? Ah, there it is. Okay,